Yo, what's up, guys? This is the third episode of our Etecc Music Band Podcast. Today in this episode we have a band from Arizona, United States with us. Mike joins us from the Rock Bottom Bros. They are a band based in Arizona, and they are talking to us a little bit about their style of using and utilizing YouTube and social media. We've been actually following each other for a long time, and this time we thought we'd just invite them over to the podcast and talk about how they do things a little bit. We are actually talking about a little trip to Sweden with the boys, and also we were talking about if age matters in making music and, making a band, how important is, how old you are, basically. We're also talking about what is going on in the United States, if there's any other bands that, portray all their journey. The Rock Bottom Bros are basically known for, just portraying everything. They had basically the same idea that we had. And so we've been following each other and seeing what the others are doing over there. So they are also, putting everything on tape, working together with other musicians, doing some collabs, and putting it all up on YouTube and on the Facebook and Instagram. So be sure to check out the Rock Bottom Bros sites. Just type Rock Bottom Bros in at Facebook and YouTube. They have a really cool story to tell how the name evolved. There are only two people basically in the band. They just recorded a new album, so there's a lot of shit to check out and a lot of videos, obviously. Just give this episode a listen. It's very, very interesting. I think if you're a musician, and if you can make it through the whole thing, it's really worth it. We have a solid program upcoming in the next one as well. It is a band from Australia. It's called Copia, and that one is a really killer one as well. So enjoy this one for now with the Rock Bottom Bros from Arizona, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so we're on. Welcome to the third episode of the Etecc Music Band Podcast. Now back home. Last time we visited the band Bloodwork in Paderborn. That is the number 2 of the podcast. And today we got a special guest aside from our usual idiots here, Marc and Souhaieb. They're all both at one place. We got a very special guest here from the United States of America.
Hey!
America!
Hello, welcome to the podcast, and why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what band you're from, where you're from?
Yeah, definitely.
Everything.
First off, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. My name is Mike. I'm from the band Rock Bottom Brothers. We are stationed here in Phoenix, Arizona, United States of America. Am I the first American guest you guys have had?
Yes.
Yeah.
First,
all right. Yes.
USA. The first one was Australia, and the second was a German. And
awesome.
So yeah, United States, third time, third podcast now. So Arizona, yeah. So welcome to the show then.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. The band is Rock Bottom Bros, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So first question is that I would have, where does that name come from, and who else is in your band? Why don't you just tell us a little bit about it, since when you're around, etc.
Yep. So the name of the band is Rock Bottom Brothers. My other bandmate, his name is Paul. He's not here right now. He's actually on a trip in India. But we just started the band. He and I used to be in a band before. And when that ended for us, we decided to do our own thing. And we're basically just a 2-person band. And the name of the band just came from a song I think we were listening to. I forget which song it is, but there's a lyric in there. It's talking about hitting rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I think that's kind of what we thought of each other. We were like, wow, we really hit rock bottom. Why don't we start a band together?
All right.
So that's kind of where that came from.
So there were other band members in the band. Did I get that right?
Well, we were in a other band before. That's how
another
he and
band.
I met. Yeah,
Right.
and then when that ended for us, we decided to kind of start this project together.
Yeah, in one video you mentioned that you had a lot of bands before that. Do you know how many?
Oh man, I mean, individually, we've both been in many, many bands over the years. Probably more than we really want to admit. But so this was kind of like our project, you know, because bass, and you guys can relate to this, drummers, bass players. You know, if you play bass and you play drums, you're kind of like, you know, you're not the main event. You know, the singer's the guy.
Right.
So we decided to be like, well, we're going to start a band where we're the main event, and we're going to be, you know, the focus is going to be on us.
Drum and bass, you say?
Drum and bass, baby. So that was kind of the start of that.
Okay. Okay, you said you had a lot of other bands before. So you said you hit rock bottom based on like every band that you made before failed or did not really work out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of more of a joke between us.
Okay.
But you know, but he and I have had some really big ups and downs in previous bands and stuff like that. And it was just kind of like a play on where we thought we were, you know, like where are we going to go from here now, you know? So we're at the bottom. Where are we going to go now? And that was kind of like our reason for starting the project, and that was one of the reasons why we decided to do something on our own. Just because we were like, well, what do we do now? You know?
Yeah.
And did you start to do the YouTube stuff with starting the band, or was that later?
Yeah, so the band was kind of built on this premise of it was this idea that I talked about with Paul a while ago, saying, why don't we start a band, and while we're starting the band and while we're doing it, let's film it. You know, let's film this whole process.
Interesting.
And
but,
and let's
but before we go into the first topic too deep already, let's backpedal a little bit, and you know, can you give us more background again about like I don't know what instruments you played, exactly where you're from again, and you know, all that stuff. So like, what instruments do you guys play or played before in the bands? How far did you get with the other bands and all that stuff?
Okay. Well, yeah. So I play drums, and Paul plays bass, and we both write music together. And as far as our previous bands go, I've lived in Phoenix for about 20 years now, so I've been in many bands here that with various degrees of success. Paul is originally from Michigan, and he's been in a ton of bands out there with the same scenario. Right. And you know, as far as being in successful situations, or it depends on what you call successful, you know, in this day and age. But for me personally, you know, I've been in all kinds of bands, from original bands to cover bands to bands that have gone on tour, to bands that last for 1 week, you know, I mean, it's the whole gamut. And I'm sure that you guys have, you know, been in many band experiences as well.
No, actually,
we haven't actually. No.
Oh, okay.
It's our first band ever.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Because we're young. Maybe you could tell us how old you are.
Yeah. So I'm 42. And,
okay.
Paul. Wow. Yeah, Paul is. I think he's gonna kill me. I think he's 46 or 47. So you know, we're getting, as far as music careers go, we're in our golden years. You know.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a huge difference. Basically, I just turned 28. Souhaieb and me. And okay, well, yeah, we only had this one band, so it's interesting. Okay. You having many more bands before that, but you know, that's something that we usually hear from people that are in some band. Well, I had this and that band before, and obviously that is normal. I mean, I wouldn't call that failed or anything, but unless you say so. But now to to give even more background for anyone that is watching, we discovered you guys on YouTube when we were making those vlogs. Started out with the metal vlogs and just basically also decided, okay, now we have to let our singer go, and now we cannot play live at the moment, and we're working on the album, but let's get into the video stuff. That's something that we wanted to do for a while, and no one really took got in charge of it and took it into their hands. And so we decided to basically from now on be as transparent as possible and just tape everything, even failure, success, anything. And so that's how we found you guys on YouTube. And so it's interesting that you guys said basically, okay, let's make a new band, only us two, because that's the only people we can rely on, really. And just tape everything from the start, which is kind of like the same approach, just like a fresh start, and just let everyone know.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that what's great about what you guys are doing is that it's very similar to what we're doing. And I found you guys, honestly, not on YouTube, but I found you on Google. I did a search. When we were starting this process, I went to Google and was like, band vlog, like that was my search term. And like just a little bit of searching, and then one of your videos popped up.
Okay.
And I watched it, and then I went to your YouTube channel. I was like, and then I watched more of your videos. I was like, yeah, so like, this is great to see someone else kind of doing what we're doing, in a sense that you're being, as you said, completely transparent. You want to tell the whole story.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully draw people in with that. So I thought that was very interesting.
Okay, it is interesting that you found us with Google. I mean, it's the same kind of, but okay. Well,
interesting.
But what you said is true. Like we tried to shift a little bit away from acting like fake it till you make it kind of approach, where you just kind of only release the good stuff, and of course it makes you look better, but really I think like the journey is more interesting for bands. We talked about in the last podcast where you always complain on all the stuff that you do as a band and no one gives a shit, but no one's really showing it either, so why complain? That was just, I think it's important for background if someone doesn't know like how we found each other and why you're here on the show. Basically, I'll make an intro anyway, and the viewers probably heard it by now. But so that would be like my first question that I had, just to introduce you guys a little bit, like where you're from. Did you have other bands? So you're way older than us, not old, but way older than us.
We're way older than a lot of people.
So maybe Souhaieb can drop a question or like the first topic. I got some here, but I want to save it a bit for last because I usually just ask way too much.
I'm curious about how you guys started out, and like what was the trigger for you, because it's pretty unusual to just document everything. Like we never see this from anyone, and when we talk with other people, like with musicians, they're always like, no, why you do that? And I don't know, it doesn't make sense, or stuff like that. You hear that all the time.
You know what? That's really crazy that you say that, man. I'm really enjoying talking to you guys, because I feel the complete opposite. I feel like in 5 years time or 10 years time, whatever, all bands are going to be doing this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Every band is going to be doing this. Every band's going to be filming everything. I mean, why would you not want to do that at this point? You have YouTube, you have YouTube, you have social media, you have every outlet available to you as a band to get yourself out there every day. And all you got to do is put in a little bit of work to learn how to create content and media to promote yourself. There's a lot of bands that are still stuck in the traditional play shows, practice, play shows, practice, play shows. When you play a show, you only reach the people that are at that show. Yes. You only reach the people that are in that room, unless someone's Facebooking live your show for a little bit. But why not take it further and tell the story of how you got to that show, and then show the show, and then say thank you to your fans after the show. You know, it's like do the whole gamut.
Exactly.
To get more people involved. And I truly believe that in 10 years time, 5 years time, every band's going to be doing what you guys are doing and what we're doing. I know that, you know, it's just a matter of time.
I mean, I agree, but I don't know, wouldn't you say like, you know, a lot of time has already passed and not many bands picked it up really over that time already? And, you know, it was there it's been there for quite a while now, you know, YouTube videos, making, you know, having GoPros and all that shit. And not many, at least, bands really portray what they're doing. Don't you think, getting used to the situation that you have to, make a video a lot, like every day, almost every day, every second day, every rehearsal. Don't you think like some people A might not like that, and B don't want to take that into their own hands, and I don't know, maybe don't see that what the potential there is, and just maybe don't want to bother with it because it's been around for a while now.
It has, and you know, it's like with everything else. All it takes is one band to do it and just be extremely successful in doing it, and then everybody else is going to do it. You know, it's just like everybody else is going to jump on that bandwagon as soon as one band hits off by doing it. And the technologies and the platforms to do this, you're right, has been around for a while, but we're still, you know, in the infancy of the content age. Like you're extremely infantile in the content age, and unfortunately, musicians are the worst at adopting new things.
Yeah,
you know,
we're
the worst. We're the worst, man. Like we just we refuse to take on new things when they come around. You know.
Yes.
But I think it's so funny because every musician is complaining about how they can't make it through the mass of other bands. They don't take like the chance to use video or whatever else is out there to actually do that.
Yeah, exactly.
They all say like, "Oh, there's so many bands we can't peek through or whatever." And then it's like, "Oh no, video and everything else. There's social media. It doesn't make sense, and I don't want to do it." It's like so weird.
Exactly. And what it really comes down to is, you know, the reason why I think a major reason why bands don't do what you guys do and what we do is because it's a lot of work. And creating videos and, you know, creating content has nothing to do with writing kick-ass songs, you know, and every band wants to write kick-ass songs and they spend their energy doing that as opposed to creating content.
It's funny that you say that because like we wanted to do it way earlier already, and you know, someone always had to do it, and so, you know, Souhaieb picked it up and then said, "Oh, it's a lot of work, man," and we kind of stopped and no one else wanted to be responsible for it. And then we heard like from, one person we heard, you know, he's in the band to make music and, you know, not to become a YouTuber or whatever. And, you know, I don't know, we didn't agree with it, but at the same time, we didn't want to do it either. And it's only now that we realize, okay, now the time that we have while we can't play shows, we can invest in something that will, you know, from which we can profit later. Now that we can't play shows anyway. But so like I think you're right. Like musicians are the worst with adopting to certain new stuff because, you know, it's not metal, man. You want to play metal, you want to rock out, you want to rehearse and drink beer and play cool shows. But if you look at it like as a small underground band, it can very well happen that you play in front of 40 people. It can happen that you play in front of 20, maybe 200. But the thing is, like, if you release a video that is half decent and you just, you know, you start out and you just reach 80 people, you know, that's better than 2 not so good underground shows. And, you know, you can take those people or you can leave them.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, for us, along with the vlogging and stuff that we try to do, one of our missions was to give people the music, like put the music out there. That's why we film our performances. We try to film at least one performance a week or release a video that has us playing. Like, you know, we're a band, so we're going to tell you guys about being in a band. We're going to show you about being in a band, and we're going to play for you in being in a band and give you every single thing that we can. You know, like like you said, complete transparency. And we were very lucky that both Paul and I have been able to gain the resources to do that, you know, because not every band puts time, money, and effort into learning how to edit video, learning how to edit audio or mix audio, which is a whole nother thing unto itself. I mean, you guys know that too, being in a band. Yeah. So gaining all those skills to do all this stuff, it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. Excuse me, but I think the payoff at some point is going to come back to bands that do it. It's going to come back to you guys. It's going to come back to us at some point. And people are going to look around and go, oh, wow, these guys have been doing this the whole time, you know?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully something like that. But yeah, that's kind of the story with us.
We talked about that topic in the last podcast a little bit. And it's like one thing we agreed on that you need as a band then is that you gotta be good, somewhat good, and you have to like not stop, because otherwise people are not going to see like the journey and like the results and all that. So it's pretty hard. I mean, one has to be able to kind of honestly look at what a band or your band is able to do. Like, are you good? Are you bad? Or what needs to be improved and all that stuff. Otherwise, I mean, we can make as much videos as like we want, and nothing's going to happen at the end if we aren't good enough. Or
yeah, I think you know, being very good is a big aspect of people taking notice to you.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's also something to be said for consistency. You know, you may not everybody's going to be, you know, an amazing band or an amazing singer or an amazing guitar player. It's just not going to happen. But there's something to be said for consistency and constantly being out in people's faces. You know, like, you know, if you look at YouTube, and you guys probably spend a lot of time on YouTube like I do.
Yes. Yeah.
YouTube.
You know, it's like you watch a video and you get into, you know, someone's channel, and then you go away for a while, and then you come back and they're still doing it. You know, and like that to me is, I gain respect for that, regardless of whether they're, you know, whatever they're doing. I gain respect for that because they believe that they're doing it. They believe in, you know, what they're doing. And that to me is like, I respect that. You know,
you can be very, very good at like any instrument or whatever. I mean, just, you know, maybe for people that are watching that have like also a new band or whatever, I just wouldn't get very discouraged by, you know, it not working out for a year or two, because you know, it doesn't really matter if you're like really, really talented at the guitar, and you know, you could have different problems. Maybe, you know, you run into the problem that you don't find people that are good enough for you, and then you don't start at all, and you know, just not starting at all and just not going is even worse than, you know, not being good, because you know, I don't know, if you can be really good, but if you quit a band like after 6 months or something, you know, it doesn't help that you're good either. At the same time, like, it doesn't help you if you continue, you're just really, really shitty, obviously. But yeah, I think we agree. I mean, you can't be shit, but you can't be quitting after a month either.
Yeah, it's like the perfect combination of having, you know, something to offer, and then consistently doing it. You know, I think that's
well, I hope we do have something to offer. I mean, it's, you know, also our channel, it's still pretty small. I mean, I hear from, you know, some people that I didn't think they'd watch it, that they do, and they know what's up in our band, and that's cool. You know, I didn't think they would watch it, but it could be a lot more, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we just have to start somewhere, and we're certainly not going to quit. I mean, I think we proved that you know, we're not quitting no matter what circumstance. So what about you guys? Like, I read the Instagram thing you wrote that no, someone you guys are checking out other projects as well now, or?
Oh, okay. So yeah, so this is really interesting, and it ties in directly to what we're talking about. So you know, we just played a show in May, on May 12th, I think it was, at a local club here. And prior to that, you know, we're, you know, posting videos every week. Sometimes you're posting like 2 videos a week.
Yeah.
And, you know, you guys know how hard it is to do that. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
And filming ads and posting ads on Facebook. Hey, we got the show coming up, you know. And up until that point, I mean, we'd been firing on all 6 cylinders. I mean, we would bust in our ass to get content out every week since late last year.
Yeah.
And as far as the videos go, I do all the video editing. Both Paul and I share the audio mixing when we perform, when we film performances. So we kind of split that up. But I do the video editing, and you know, I'd wake up sometimes at 4 a.m. and start editing videos, and then go to work, you know, and then come back and then edit more videos, and then go to sleep, and then, you know, the next night I'm up till 2 a.m. editing videos. So basically, it's a lot of work. So we're like, okay, we're gonna play this show as Rock Bottom Brothers, just Paul and I, and, you know, really test to see what our worth is. How much has this work been paying off for us, right?
Right.
Well, we play this show, and literally, like, the people in the crowd is Paul's wife, my girlfriend, 2 of our buddies, and our extra camera guy, and then the bar staff.
Oh my god.
Damn.
We got our ass kicked, man. It was like, we walked away from that show, and I was like, oh my god, you gotta be killing me. This is like,
Oh man.
you know, I'm editing videos till my eyes are bleeding, and we cannot even get 10 people at our show, you know.
That hurts.
That was like an ass kick. And
Did you say it was a local show too? Like
it
pretty
was
close?
a local show. Yeah, it was like
Right.
right there. It was like in town.
Yeah.
And make any excuse that you want for it. For me, it's like that just hurt. You know, it really hurt.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's a lot of work. We're trying to do more work than most bands do, as far as from day-to-day content creation. You know, and there's just
but
nobody
that's
there,
maybe
man.
like what I just said. I mean, okay, this band is like what, 1 year old?
Yeah, our band is a little over a year. Yeah,
Over a year. Yeah, but that's weird to me.
Can I ask how many gigs have you played like the last year? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I mean, we haven't really been hitting it heavy gig-wise. That was our 3rd gig. So you know, we're really not playing a lot of gigs. Our focus has been on getting content created. You know.
Yeah.
So we haven't really been playing a lot of live shows. So there's an aspect to that whole show thing where we're just not playing out anyway. So
yeah, I would probably say that, you know, you're doing good on the content creation side, but of course, like, did you play that place alone, or?
I was just going to ask that.
We played it with another band that was from out of town.
That's out of town.
yeah, exactly. I mean, every aspect of that show, for me, you know, I shouldn't be disappointed in it, because the reality is we don't play out a lot, and that was just a lesson.
You still got to play a lot. I mean, you know, you can make YouTube videos all you want, but at the same time, you have to play and play and play. And okay, yeah, maybe that night, I don't know what weekday, if it was a weekday or a weekend, or, you know, there's a lot of shit that factors into that. I mean, a lot of shit. Like in Germany, it's sometimes the same thing. You know, if you play a town where there's a football game going on, a big one, you know, if it's the wrong club combination, you're fucked, you know, and you're missing out. You know, you could have had like 50 people probably, and then 30 show up as 20. And that makes a difference in like metal shows, money wise, and etc.
Yeah.
But then again, like, I think we played our first show. We got lucky with the first show, but we never like played alone, and just with one out of town band somewhere. You know, we just knew that.
No, that's not true. Once it happened. Yeah, in front of 2 girlfriends, I think.
I mean,
one time
that happened to us as well, but that was out of town. But like, we never made our own show with just us. I mean, maybe on a birthday party or something.
Also, Mike, you have to consider that YouTube audience is not locally. These are not local people. Like, it could be that someone is from Indonesia, and that's a totally different audience. And I think for having a crowd, you have to still do the work locally, like play shows and stuff like that. For example, we played over 100, like I think over 120 gigs in 3 years, and it paid off. It really paid off.
Yeah,
not everywhere, but yeah.
I would love to see you guys film your shows. I would love to see you guys.
Well, we would love to play.
Yeah.
We'd love to play again.
We're just waiting for the next fucking show. And luckily, like last weekend, the dude we did the podcast with, he agreed on like playing a bunch of shows with us and trying to sing. So that's something that helped our mood a little bit.
Oh.
But yeah, the funny thing is that right now let's just say we learn to like film all the stuff we do and create a little bit of content and all that stuff. And our basic product is like missing at the moment. We don't have new done songs and we don't play shows.
Right.
We try everything else, but we are a band and not like a TV show or whatever. So it's like really weird.
I think that like the YouTube stuff comes on top of the normal stuff that you have to do.
Should be.
To make it more global or, reach people that you wouldn't reach just by playing shows. But I still think that you just have to spam the shows. Why not play a club 7 times in a row in America? I don't know if that still works, but that's what I've heard from some bands there, that you just look for a bar that's cool and they just offer to play there a week or so. I don't know.
Yeah, that definitely works. And the big lesson for us, because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but our band was basically like content first, then be a traditional band. We tried to reverse engineer and go, let's create content online and then play shows.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we were kind of at this point where we're like, okay, let's play shows. And I think that our reverse engineering of trying to build a band, and I think why this show was such a letdown for us is because it felt like, well, that's not going to work,
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
and it's a big lesson to us, on what works right now and what we need to work harder on.
I think for that to work, you gotta reach a point. Like, for example, if you reach, let's say, a number like 100,000 subs, then it's possible to do tours with 200 people in front. And that, like, it could be a goal you can set. And I think it should be also a goal. And it's reachable in some ways. If you do it consistently. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Maybe first try to reach 1,000. For both of our channels.
Yeah, of course.
1,000 subs on YouTube as a band that is small, actually, like not big.
But it's doable. It's not. It's not impossible.
No.
Yeah. So, I don't know about you guys, but there just came a point for me after creating, X amount of videos where I just stopped looking at the numbers because, you just get obsessed with your subs, you get obsessed with your likes, you get obsessed with your Instagram numbers.
True,
and it just starts to run you, and you can literally go crazy thinking about, why don't I have this many subs? Why does this person have this many followers and I only have this? Or, it's like,
I don't even check. I don't even check anymore.
You go crazy, and it's really a deterrent. So at some point you have to make the decision. You have to flip over and just say, you know what? I don't care what the numbers are. I'm either have to do this, get it out of me, and not care what the numbers are, or go crazy about looking and checking my subs every day. It's crazy how that runs you.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it's a good trick to just not look at the numbers. So you only do, what you really want to do, or, what you do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Especially. But another question, when you guys, have a show somewhere, do you guys have any other musicians with you? Or because I saw one video where you had some people in the rehearsal room, and or do you not just not have any guitar, or what's
so
like, how do you do it live?
A big part of what we do is collaborate with a lot of local musicians here in Phoenix. We have a lot of friends that we like to write with and bring guitar players in, or bring vocalists in, bring rappers in, we try to just collaborate with a lot of people, which really creatively for us is awesome, because Paul and I get to write music as a rhythm section and write music in general, and then send it out to friends that we know. And if they if they have the time and dig the music, we'll get them in on a song and then film it. So we have a lot of videos, performance videos, where we've pulled in friends of ours, which has really been great because it keeps it fresh, you know, it keeps it new for us. But the thing it doesn't do is it doesn't build Paul and I as a band. It kind of just creates a collaboration situation, you know. So it's good, and at the same time, it doesn't really build us as an actual product, though. You know, we just put out these cool videos, performance videos with our friends, which is really fun too. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we love doing it, but you know, we also want to get ourselves out there too. So,
do you think it might be a problem that like you're just two people, or no?
Yes. Sometimes that is the problem for us because we are just two people. And it's hard to, you know, there's not many bands out there, 2-people bands that really, you know, get a lot of attention.
Right.
And Paul and I really talk about that a lot. We're like, well, we love collaborating, but we want to also be, you know, known as a great band too, or whatnot. So we're kind of in this like gray, shady, gelatinous area where we're not sure what we want to do, you know, with creating with building our brand. Or
I think that collaboration is a good strategy because you get to know a lot of people then. So it's kind of cool. Like that's what we also like to do, like jamming sometimes with other people. It's a lot of fun.
And that's what we're doing right now, actually, with you. The podcast stuff. That's one reason we started it, to like get to know new people, reach more people, and like the talk we are having right now. I don't know. I think I can learn a lot, and it's interesting to just talk to other people in the music business and see why they're doing certain things and what stuff they agree or disagree on. So
playing with a lot of musicians is very valuable in my eyes.
Yeah, totally. And I'm learning a shitload from you guys, man. This is great talking to you guys because
thank you.
We know.
Along with
I mean, exactly.
I mean, it's great because I watch a lot. I've watched just about almost all of your videos, and cool. It's fun. It's fun, like riding along with you guys, you know, and watching your journey, the ups and the downs.
Exactly. That's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but like seeing the scenery that you guys live in. You know, it's very different from where we're at.
Well,
the way you guys, the way you guys get to rehearsals, the way you guys go out and party, the way you guys hang out and fart. You know, I watch all of it, dude. It's great, man. It's really entertaining. To me, it is, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. Great to hear. So you are the one guy watching all of our videos like 12
times. I'm the dude, man. I'm the dude. I'm the guy that watches them.
Good. That's the no, but like that's the point. Maybe I don't know. Like, you know, the thing is also like on this channel. I mean, this is the real stuff here. I always say it. We don't need to like fake it or anything. As of right now, I mean, we're constantly getting subs, and we're constantly getting like sometimes like from here and there, like, oh, this is really cool. Oh, I didn't know you have this to do. But at the same time, you know, interaction is really hard on a small YouTube channel. So, you know, whenever, you know, as it's, you know, Rock Bottom Bros YouTube channel is linked in the description as well. You know, why don't you just go there if you're a band watching this or found this or whatever? You know, why not just share your experience as well in comments and check out their channel and, you know, share our channel and just, you know, get it out there a little bit, because maybe it is the same thing for some other band somewhere. I don't know. You know, that also likes to see, okay, well, we're not the only ones that are, you know, small, but trying to make news, you know, the next step or, you know, thinking about this all the time. You know, let us know if you're watching and if you have something to say, any advice, you agree, disagree. It's very important because, you know, interactions really few and far between on these smaller videos. And I'm sure some musicians watch this. You know, it would be nice to hear that from someone else. And sometimes people are watching, but they're just not, you know, I'm also one of those guys that very rarely comments on the video. I say, yeah, this is a good video, but I don't comment at it. You know, I just, I like it and I might show it to someone, but commenting is very hard to get in small videos, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of silent viewers out there that are really hard to track.
Mm-hmm.
Naked silent viewers.
Yeah. I know, right? So it's like those are the people that are watching, but you just can't really like get your finger on them. It's really hard to determine who's watching. Man, what we should do is we should do this more often and hopefully find other bands that are doing what we're doing. If we like when you're kids, we used to write letters and have pen pals. We should do a YouTube channel. Yeah. YouTube channel pen pal thing, man, where we talk about this stuff all the time. And you guys' podcast is pretty much doing that.
You are so old. No, I know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding. Yeah, we actually had the idea. Maybe Souhaieb wants to.
Thought about to do another video with you, like for your
I love
channel,
that, man.
maybe.
I love that. That would be great.
Maybe you could ask us some questions.
We would be on your podcast or whatever you'd like to call it.
I saw you do also podcasts, like smaller ones.
Yeah, I would totally be down for that, man. That's what's great about hooking up with other bands that are doing it, is that we can flip the switch and and interview you guys and just kind of keep it steady like that. And
have you found other people like that? Because we didn't.
I haven't either, and I've looked hard for bands that are telling the story. Like you guys are telling your story. We're telling our story. There's a lot of bands that are telling their story transparent wise. You guys and us, we're the only ones I've ever found.
That's a good sign. Then don't tell them the secret.
Good,
what the fuck, man? We're trying to get rich here. Hello.
I know.
No, but,
there's bands that put up a vlog, and then you never hear from them again. Or like put up, something.
Because they do vlogs about the best thing they do. Like, for example, they play a big show and then, let's do a vlog about it. And then
it's usually like
a year
tour
later,
diary, tour diary. Well, in the 90s, I mean, it's good that they start with it, I think. But there's a lot of bands that I know that are, quite big and there's nothing coming from them.
Anything,
and then but if you're a band, you're watching this and you have the same idea or you just want to get started, let us know, man. I mean, we're really interested. That's the reason we're doing this whole shit. So meeting up with someone from United States, it's like 8 hours or whatever difference, and it's interesting. Like same for the guys from Australia that we met them at Rock am Ring actually, and then since then we're in contact, and if we could play shows right now, we would probably already be planning the tour that we still have open in Australia, and we got it to work. You can do stuff with the internet. Also if you're a musician, don't worry about it. I mean, there's so much to do. I mean, we planned a 12-day Australian tour. We couldn't play it in the end because someone let us down, and no, it was all on our own fault. We didn't manage it prior to that. We didn't really make clear that we need to do it. It doesn't matter now, but we couldn't do it, but we could have done it. I mean, it was set, it was done, it was there, and there was someone on the other half of the world that was really like helping us. It was really crazy. He was helping us. He wanted us to come over there. Then we could invite them over, and we were like working together really good. And I don't know. He managed to get us guarantees. Like $300 or whatever. And on the other side of the world, like no one knows us there. No guarantees. Share a bus. There's so much you can do, and I think there should be more bands that participate in this. I mean, you're invited. But I feel like a lot of times bands don't want to put in the work to make videos. You can make 1 or 2 videos, but you also get very tired of it quickly. And then maybe you don't. You think you don't want to. I don't know, give away your network or your secrets or whatever, or you don't want to be shown when it's uncomfortable. It's something to do with it. But there's no big secrets anymore. I mean, you don't really need a big label to build your band anymore. I mean, what secrets? But that's what I feel. Sometimes I think people don't want to give away too much of them or their secrets on how they. I don't know.
Paul and I, we call that mystique. Like bands, bands back in the day, what made them popular or made them like really, when labels are supporting, they had this mystique to them, like they're better than us, these magical people create these amazing songs and they just have this great mystique, that to me, like that's all bullshit. That's gone. There is no mystique. Like being in a band and doing what we're doing is tough. And showing that is interesting to me.
What I really, really find interesting is that, for example, Metallica, they put out that DVD or CD or whatever it was back then, like the year and a half. It was so old, and they did it back then, and there's so much footage. And for some reason, people just didn't. I mean, how many people watched it? And like, no band is doing it nowadays, and it's so old. Actually, now all the tools are there, and no one's doing it. So it's like just confusing.
Documentaries about them, how cool they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really the point. I mean, obviously you want to do that if you're a big band. You want to, make a documentary. How shit you started.
And Metallica is pretty cool. So
yeah, I just mean like they made some bands made documentaries about them, and but there was like I remember we watched some sort of video some band from the US put out where they also filmed everything about a tour, and also the shit shows and what they had to do, and the car broke down and all that stuff. That was a good start. Sucks that I don't remember the name, but I'll probably
did they continue to put out videos?
I don't know. I would have to recheck, but I'm not sure.
Yeah
But they also interview Gojira in it, and I mean their music was really hard to listen to. I mean, it was, for some people probably isn't, but it was pretty extreme metal when I remember correctly. But I mean, like technical and all that stuff. And
I guess documentary titled "Why We Do This" or "Why You Do This" or something. Yeah, that's it. Pretty interesting.
Their music wasn't really, the first thing you would bang your head to if you don't know them. It was hard to get into, but like they filmed all their effort, and I mean that's good. And I don't.
Yeah.
I would have to check out if they still put out videos.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That would be really great to see. Another band doing that and telling.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, as far as I remember, it was pretty depressing to watch that kind of. Yeah. Because I felt like the dude wasn't too comfortable with his own journey or whatever you want to call it. So it's kind of weird. And then they interview Gojira, and worth checking out for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a totally different question right now. Yeah. Since we watched a couple of videos, we always looked at your rehearsal space, which is pretty comfortable looking, and I don't know, it just looks fun. And we were wondering, where is it? Have you built it yourself, or is that in your grandma's basement or something? What's the deal?
Yeah, so we have two places that we film in, mine and Paul's.
Two.
So two of them. One room, if you look some of the videos, one room is like a red room. It's kind of red, and then the other room is just with lights and colors and all that stuff like that. So the one that's red, the walls are red and everything like that. That's my house. That is my garage. Actually, it was converted into a live room.
Cool.
So I sacrificed my garage for a live rehearsal room, and that's where we film when we're at my house. And then when we go to Paul's house, Paul lives about 30 minutes away from me. When we go to his place, he has a studio in his house as well that he built, and that's the other one that has all the crazy lights and there's guitars hanging from the wall and stuff like that. So we go back and forth and film in both places just to mix it up, depending on if we're collaborating with someone and they live closer to me, then we'll do it at my place, or if they're closer to Paul, then we'll go to his place. But it just kind of keeps it fresh. So we have these two different places to film in. And it just kind of keeps it fun. So Paul's wife is Indian, so that's where all the cool the cool imagery comes from. It's all those sheets and stuff like that. So it's really heavily influenced by that kind of imagery, and it looks cool on camera, which is really probably what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does.
But I've seen your guys' videos when you guys go to rehearsal. Where do you guys rehearse? Because it's pretty. Is it between where you guys live, or what's your situation? Let me ask you a question.
All right, Timo, do you want to?
Yeah. Well, Well, first we lived in one town, and then we moved. 2 of us moved to Hanover, which is 80 kilometers away. That's the proper measurement for a range. Kilometers. And
it's about an hour drive.
Yeah, and so here we had to find something new, and we live in it's a bigger city for German standards, like 500,000 people, and it's just a room in like a industry area where someone made a bunch of rooms in an old building, and he's been doing that for 20 years or 25 years. And so we found a room there, and at the moment we're sharing it. So yeah, in Germany it's more like you have a rehearsal room either in not really in your house usually. It's more you have it somewhere in the city. But it can be different, depends on where you live, obviously. But if you're from a city, then usually you have a rehearsal room somewhere, and then you just go. You have your shit in there, and then you just go there with your bike or car or with the train or whatever. And so yeah, it's more German rehearsal room for work. But we used to have a different one, which was much more cozy and all. But we're working on that in the next town we're going to stop in, and hopefully that will be soon. And the next rehearsal room we'll probably not share again. And maybe if it depends.
It depends.
But it's better to have one for yourself and then make it really cozy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think how many like rehearsal spaces we had before that. I guess it was more than 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
And the last one we were at, that's the one we actually built on our back then vocalist bassist property. So that's something we learned, because we built that whole thing in like 1 year, and we made like 2 videos. So it's like totally stupid.
Rip.
It would have been a really cool process, like to show other people and other bands and what we do and how much time it took and all that. And we just like made 2 videos.
That's interesting, because I'm a musician and I find what you guys are doing really interesting. You know how they say when you're trying to build a brand, you need to define your audience, right? And target in on your target audience. For us, like my idea was our target audience, what I think is other musicians. It's not necessarily like fans, but I kind of try and target other musicians, because I think that's other musicians would be the only ones that find what we do cool, but I don't know. What do you guys think about that as far as defining who your target audience is,
Yeah, I think it's definitely nowadays, if you kind of rely on promoting yourself somewhere, if you don't want to annoy the shit out of people, there's a lot of bands to choose from. And obviously I think it's everything that we do is pretty niche and only interesting for other musicians, but also for people that kind of dig the music and then they get more into it. So but I think what at the start of everything, you have like the core supporters, or like a core fan base or whatever that are more into that and find it interesting, like all the other stuff that you're doing. They know, okay, this is the hard work that they put into, and I think from there other people can watch it from there. But I think nowadays it's important that you have other people watching and let share the stuff that you do, because you can have good music, and that's, for example, our first album is more like thrashy and all that, but there's so many other bands out there, and they don't even like, why should they try you out if someone else shows them, hey, look at this band, like they put out a lot of videos, their music's cool, and they put out a lot of videos. Maybe the person they show it to is not really interested in, like, oh yeah, we're putting so much work into this, or blah blah, and all the stuff that we do aside from the music, but then they like the music, and so you have a new person that just really is in for the music, but they wouldn't have found you if their friend that is more into the musician stuff wouldn't have recommended it you. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea, man. I think it's very random, to be honest. It
I
can
guess
be anything.
We can define target audiences all we want, but it doesn't doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, we're not building a car or anything. It's
exactly.
music. If you like the music, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And the only chance you have is to show what you're doing. And
right. And that I think is very important to actually show that like one person is more than just a guitar player on stage. So that he's funny or maybe stupid or fat or whatever it might be. I don't know. But that there's something else, and that's like gives you the option to connect with more people. And as you said, at the end, it's their decision to decide why they want to engage with you. So
yeah, whether it's they find you interesting or they like your music or whatever.
And the order just could be random. I don't know.
Yeah,
just like Timo said, it's weird, but I think it doesn't make sense to leave stuff out. So because like the stuff we always bring up as an example is just because we really like Metallica and we started out with them, and it helped to know that James Hetfield, at least in our or my eyes, is kind of funny, and Lars Ulrich is like a little douchebag and also funny. Like all these characters help to like paint a bigger picture of the actual band. And
same for Pantera.
On top of that, they had these amazing songs with really good songwriting. So the combination made it way easier for me to connect with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's like, with those bands, it was the music first, really, and then you get involved with their story as they put out more videos and stuff like that. And like you said, Pantera, man, I'm a huge fan of Pantera.
Yeah,
and
nice.
They would put out videos as well back in the day.
Yeah, they started so early.
Very early, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved watching those because you got to see like how cool it was to be in Pantera.
Yeah, right. You still watch these videos,
but like how cool it was. And that's what attracted me. Yeah, that's what attracted me to like doing this. Is like I enjoyed watching those videos back in the day and watching like those Metallica videos, and you get to see what goes on. That's what's attractive to me. So that's why hopefully someone will find what we're doing and what you guys are doing fun to watch. So
yeah,
well,
at least
we'll see.
We have you.
Yeah, we have you. So
you got me. I'll tune in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. But everything is hard when you start it. And I mean, we started the channel, we didn't really use YouTube, and we started with 50 subs or so. Now we're close to 300. It's not a huge number, but I mean, at least 300, it's better than 50 and not using it at all. And I mean, I think it's important that, don't forget to write music in the end, because that's what we struggled with now. Okay, well, we put a lot of time into this video stuff, and we realized, okay, we have to work more on the songs again, and actually try and find a singer again, and put more effort into that as well. But once we have that going, then we can just tape everything that we're doing and I don't know, promote a show with a video or whatever, I don't know. And but at the same time, you can't forget to write music and build the band as well, and just play live and do the traditional stuff. That's also very important.
Yeah, so, and I think that's the mistake that we made, was that we kind of focused too much on our content and kind of went away from the traditional, and that was
but then again, you're still fresh with that band. Every new project is a new start. I mean, you start from zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe you should try find a third person that really works well, and just go, as Nico from last podcast said, the way of dirt. The hard way, and play 50 shows. I don't know, just play every fucking show you can, and after that see what happens then. In combination, you now spend a year on the YouTube stuff, or over a year, and now do some traditional stuff and mix it in, step a little back from the content maybe, and but
just
then
document it.
but then at the same time you have more to tell, because you're doing more actual music stuff and live stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, because playing traditionally in a band comes natural to us, because that's what we all do, right? Yeah. But now that we also create content, and you guys do that too, once you guys get firing on all 6 pistons and you have a singer and everything, you guys already have a tight content game. You're already 10 steps ahead of every other band. Like you already know how to create videos. You already know how to put in that work. So once you and same thing with us, if we start doing that,
kind of just the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great position to be in.
Yeah, but at the same time, we missed like 130 shows, no video made.
Yeah,
but
no,
we have like a traditional fan base. It's still small, but there's some people. But now we're working on the other stuff, and we forgot to tape 130 shows, and really good ones too, really shit ones too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think.
Yeah, what I was thinking before we started out here, like, where do you want to take your project? What's your not goal, but like where do you want to go? Kind of. That's what I was thinking. Do you know, or
we kind of know? It's like with every show we play or whatever move we make, it's like that goal shifts. We want to, we want to be a traditional band and write traditional songs and stuff, but we just want to be like ghetto superstars, man. We want to rule Phoenix, I mean, we don't have big aspirations. We just want to be able to like be known as great musicians who write great music, work with a lot of people. We don't really have big aspirations to be huge American rock stars, although we would like that. That's our goal. I don't think that's our goal. Our goal is to kind of be innovators and be kind of the first ones out the gate doing what we're doing here in America, or even in our city, to be like the innovators and be known as the ones who are the first ones doing it. And people want to work with us, and we want to work with other people, and we want to build our own brand, and we want to sell T-shirts that have our logo on it, and everybody knows who that is. Right. So small goals, I guess, would be things like that here in town would be our immediate future goals. And then long term, man, I don't know. We're old, so I don't know how long we can keep doing this. Oh, well, we may do it into our 50s, right? So who knows?
Keep doing the drinking and
I don't know who does more drinking, us or you guys. I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, we've gotten better. Should have seen the old videos. Or maybe better not. I don't know.
Maybe it's not better. We don't know. But I'm sure it comes back when we have a singer again and everything. But at the moment, it's good that we can only drink 4 beers when we rehearse, and
not to you.
Yeah, well, depends on the night. But it's gotten way less. But I don't think that is a huge problem for making music. I think you get good ideas, and then you maybe execute like 2 of them out of 6
right
the next day, and then that's part of it. Like another question was, or from me, was like United States scene. Now you're not necessarily like heavy metal, classics. I don't know, underground, 10 black dressed drunks in front of the stage with Slayer shirts or whatever. You have the chance to get real shows and real people to the shows. Like how is it? Like you said, you did that one show and like 3 people showed up or whatever.
Yeah.
How does it work? Because here, like I hear Europe, or I feel Europe in general is contested by like a huge number of small, especially metal bands. It's just Europe, that's how it is. But how is it in the United States to get a gig? Do you just walk up to bars? I mean, in Phoenix, there should be thousands of bars. Like, how does it work? Do you walk up to them? How do you guys get your gigs? Like,
it probably works very much the same way that it works for you guys. Being that I've lived here for so long and Paul's lived here, we just know a lot of people. So we may get on a gig because they're friends of ours. The bands that is playing is friend of ours, or we may know, or like if we don't know the club, we can literally go up to the bar and say who does the booking here, and then say, hey, we're kind of interested in playing a show, and here's what we're about, and then boom, here's the email with the YouTube channel and the videos, and that's what's great about having so much content.
That's true.
Is that you literally have everything that you do online, and they can consume as much of you as they want. But it's probably about the same process that it would be for you guys. Now that's at the local level, playing shows in town.
But I'm also talking about like, I mean, the whole United States, for example, because we usually want to play everywhere in Germany that has, I don't know, gas money and a little bit on top and food.
Yeah. So if we wanted to like book a tour or something and play out of state where nobody has any clue of us, I mean, it's literally cold calling. You have to call them up or email them. Send out 100 emails and get 2 back. You know, it's one of those things. It's probably the same story for you guys. Yeah. And you just say, this is what we're about. Here's our CD, or here's our album. Here's our website. Here's our videos. This is what we sound like. Do you think you can book us, some night? And then you get, booked on a Monday night at 8 o'clock, and then you have no one there.
Yeah, 4 people.
Yeah, but that's pretty much how it works here in the States too. It's you gotta eat shit for a while,
Right.
So,
but then, did you guys think about making or creating your own shows in other towns? Organizing it like from everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, and we've had offer to go up north and play some shows up there. But for Paul and I, we're kind of in this, like I was talking, this slushy area where we don't really have a solid product yet. Like we're not like you guys have a CD. I know you're looking for a singer, but you're a band, you're a complete band, and you have a complete package product you can deliver and say, this is us. Can you book us on a night? We're kind of in this weird area where we don't really have that yet. So we don't want to really put a lot of time and energy into trying to play shows out of town.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, if you're not, of course, because you can't just go because you're missing people, kind of, or you don't know what if you are or what's happening.
Exactly. So I think when we get to that point where we feel confident enough to say that we do have a product, we do have a complete package, then we'll probably maybe look into some shows out of town and stuff. But that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, because I think that is one of the more important topics. I mean, now we talked about a lot of other stuff, which is also very good. Maybe I can go into the booking with another band in a future podcast, but that's usually what a lot of bands are interested in. How to get shows. That's what you want to do. Yeah, that's basically selling your stuff, or rocking, and it's what you want to do. Put what you rehearsed on stage and get out there and play. That's the most fun thing.
Well, if you guys ever make it to the States or make it to Phoenix, man, I'll help you guys get a show.
Yeah, we're talking to someone in Phoenix already. I remember.
Oh, right on. That's awesome, man.
But nothing ever got. I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know someone whose like parents actually have a place in Arizona. I don't know where. I should ask about that, but in case I'm over there, I'm definitely going to say hi at some point.
Yeah, that'd be great, man.
Jägermeister.
Yeah.
I got one more question concerning like your music.
Yeah.
You're going to like write more songs and record stuff. Are you going to put out an album, or are you going to put out like single songs, like I don't know, 1 or 2 per month? Like what's
we kind of started recording a quote-unquote album a couple weeks ago. So our plan is to release some kind of a formal product, I guess you could say, with just the 2 of us, of a lot of the songs that we've written already. We're going to probably put it out as an EP, something, at least something to show for what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Every song that we recorded, you can watch a video for now. We just wanted to do a formal recording of these songs. So we have in a traditional sense, we have a CD or we have an album, and then go from there,
All right, cool.
But yeah. So yeah, it's we're just
it seems like there's you're trying all the new stuff, and I also noticed that there was nowhere where you'd like say you can buy our CD here if you want to support, or it costs $5 or it costs $6, because there's no actual album at the moment, or
exactly.
It's kind of missing. It seems like that a lot of the traditional stuff still counts and it's still needed as a base, kind of.
Yeah, and we're learning that. We're definitely learning that. that we want to record an album and put that out, and at least say,
Yeah,
like you said, if you want to support us, here's a record you can buy or something like that. So
makes sense. kind of.
Well, I would definitely look into hoping to see you guys at some point live and learn more about you guys, man. I like I said, I'm a big fan of what you guys are doing. So
thanks a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to bring it up on YouTube when we play. I mean, of course, like the next show we get, of course, we're gonna tape it. I mean, we learned that, and just don't. But at the same time, musicians are always like, they don't want that taped because, it doesn't sound like Metallica 1989 Seattle in a huge arena. But they don't want. This is not perfect, and the stage doesn't look so cool. But we miss so much, so we're gonna make sure that the next shows are at least like partially in the videos or whatever. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a struggle, man. I mean, looking for a singer is the worst, man. At least you don't have that. I really gotta say, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been following along, and you guys. It sounded like you guys had kind of worked with somebody or worked with people.
We had a singer for a long time, and then we tried some new people out, and then real life got in the way, or just all of a sudden no response because they work somewhere and can't make it, or it's just totally different stuff. And you can see how, like, for us it's normal. Okay, we want to like record a new song, find a singer, and then let's go. We find a singer. Okay, let's go. 3 weeks of weekend tours. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's do this. But then we had to realize, you can really shock someone with that as well. With even in other bands, people aren't really used to that attitude that we have, and we kind of forgot about how. No, I don't want to say we're like hardcore and we're so cool and hard working and all that, but we definitely, like, when it came to live, we just wanted to play, man. When that's what we did, really. Like, we made one album and then we just played live, and some people are really shocked by that. I don't know if I can do that, like 2 weeks a weekend, a show and live, and that comes on top of that. So singers,
we played 2 gigs in one day, for example.
2 times, actually.
Yeah, it's like a commitment. That. It's finding someone who can commit like you guys are.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
It is. So for other bands, hold on to the people that are working, that work for you guys. But at the same time, you also gotta, admit to yourself when someone's not working out for your band, really. I mean, that's the price we pay. We can't play live right now, but there's other aspects that would have dragged it down, possibly, or whatever.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have learned all the video stuff and all that. So,
and that's what I admire about what you guys are doing, is that even though you're not playing shows out right now, you're still looking for a singer. You still generate content, and you still put out stuff that keeps you alive in people's minds.
Yeah, I hope so.
Even though that you're not playing, you're still putting yourselves out there, and I think that's really important. And really, really fun to watch for you guys.
I have another question, which is, well, first of all, your guys' music. What would you, what would you say is your guys' genre, or what do you want to go if you had another person?
I think that Paul and I are really heavily, like, our common area is funk. Like, we're really big funk guys. I mean, I'm started off loving metal. I was a big metal guy, and then and hip hop. Like, hip hop and metal to me were like my influences. And Paul loves funk. He loves hip hop. He's a little more into the classic stuff than I am. So that's kind of our common ground. So everything we write, our style is probably more groove oriented, along funk. It kind of waves back and forth between heavy and hip hop and funk and somewhere. So it's kind of like somewhere in there, I think that would be what we classify our stuff with. And then when we collaborate with other people, it's usually along the lines of what they're into, and mix in with a little bit of whatever they're into or whoever we're working with. So I think if we were to add another member, we're talking to maybe add an actual guitar player or something like that. It'll be along the lines of what we do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In that essence, yeah. I'm a huge Rage Against the Machine fan, by the way. That's like my number one fan. Number one band. So like that kind of heavy funk is what I dig, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it should be possible to find someone for that, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not the only one there, I think.
Yeah.
Then the other question would be, I asked that someone else, and I thought it's a good question for the podcast. In the United States, do bands from other countries get recognition? Like, especially like in rock, metal, you know, blues, maybe.
I mean, like more recognition compared to other bands, right?
Yeah, is it more interesting? Let's say like a band comes over from Europe and they make the step to play there a couple of shows. You know, do they get recognition there, or do you know of any bands, you know, smaller bands from Europe that come over that are interesting there?
You know, that's a tough question. I think like if you come over from another country and you know, it depends on what level you're promoted and supported. Really, I think is because just like any other band, you can be in a band from America and try to, you know, run the routes of touring and stuff like that. And you can be a band from Europe or somewhere else and run those same routes. And, you know, I think it's a draw that you're from out of town and that you're from out of the country. But I think it really comes down to, you know, what kind of promotion do you have and how much do people know who you are is really going to get you the kind of traction that you're looking for as a band, regardless of where you're from. You know, that goes back to, again, how good are you? Are you, you know, do people dig what you're doing? Do people dig your music? Do they dig you?
Yeah, but how do they find out? Like, if you know there's a band from Japan in your city, close, would you go? Just because they're from Japan, you know, check them out, or do you check what their music is like before?
Yeah, I would definitely be more likely to check and see what their music is like before I go out and go watch them. Or if like a friend of mine wants to go see a band and says, "Hey, you got to check this band out," I'll go. You know, it's very traditional way of finding out of bands, whether they're from out of town or from America. Yeah, I would find out what the band is like first, or listen to them at least, you know, so to know if I'm going to dig it or not, for sure. Yeah,
so, you know, we need to get like really young people on the podcast because we agree on most of the stuff. It's pretty similar. Like, it would be interesting to see if, you know, like, I don't know, 15, a band that is like, I don't know, 16, 17-year-olds in it. If they do the same thing, because I remember that was normal, like back in the day, there was a metal show on, we would check like every band's MySpace and check their music and then decide, well, you know, €7, all right, let's check them out, and then, you know, those guys will be shit and blah, and then they turned out to be okay and whatever. And maybe it would be interesting to me if like how younger people do that. You know, do they even still check it out? Do they even check for metal shows at all, or how does that work? Like, I think we should get someone on board really young.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting because I think it's also very dangerous, like to just think in your own dimensions. You know, I mean, even we are getting older now, 28. For you would probably say it's young. You know, we still got time, but you know, we were 20 and 21 when we started, and you know, it's kind of, things do change even in like 5 years and generation. So yeah, it would be very interesting for me to find out how young people handle all that stuff. How do they like explore new music? How do they get it? You know, how do they? Is it on Instagram, or I have no idea.
That would be a great podcast, because I mean, you'd be able to pick their brain and find out how the younger generation is doing it. Yeah. Because it's completely different from the way I did it, and it's probably different from the way that you guys did it. You know.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
So.
But then, like, we're like the generation that still got everything, or had like the traditional stuff when they were younger, like VHS, and then CD came, and we still know that, you know, we remember when smartphones came out and the first cell phones and all that stuff. So we were like the last ones that got the, you know, experienced the shift. So would be interesting to talk to someone that, you know, just knows everything, you know, knows the world with internet, nothing else, DVD and smartphones, and not all the stuff before that, because I think that does influence the way we look at things quite a bit still.
Yeah, you know, these kids are growing up with this technology, and it's normal for them.
Yeah,
it's something that is just always, like, they can't even imagine a world without it, right? So this growing up like that is normal for them. So it'd be great to get a cross section on how they view music and finding new music, and how they view musicians and stuff like that, because it's different.
Yeah, the value of music itself, even.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be.
I mean, for us, it's normal. You know, you have a band, and it's normal that you, like, if you like them, you buy the album, and you're interested in the music. And I'm sure especially in metal scene, like for younger people, I'm sure it's kind of the same. But for other people, I don't know so much, man. Like, if music has the same value that you have to buy it, and I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's that would be great to look into that further, for sure.
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
Because I'm on your website, and I saw band hustle mode on.
Yeah.
and we just thought, do you guys also watch Gary Vaynerchuk?
I love Gary V.
Nice.
Awesome, man. I was about to suggest you watching like some of his videos and all that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Gary V. I know that you guys follow him too.
All right.
And yeah, he just slays. He kills everybody, and he's he's just really good at making the obvious important. You know, everybody wants to cut around the bush, and everybody wants to like skip over the details, but what's so great about him is that he just literally breaks it down for you and gives you no bullshit and says, look, you want this, you got to do this to get it, period. You know, there's no shortcuts. You got to do this to get this.
I mean, if you break it down, he's right. You know, the only thing that you have to do as a band is, you know, practice so you're not shit, and then get the fucking songs done, release an album, then start working on the next one. So you release like five albums, then tour, and then probably document it. That's it. You already know what you have to do, kind of. You know,
exactly.
But, people just talk about like, what could we do and how could we improve this? Actually, I think also guilty of doing that. You know, we already know what we have to do, and we're not saying we don't know, but
it's getting way better, I'd say.
Yeah, if you
like in the past.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go.
If you hold that, you know, if you keep that in mind, that you already know, you have to remind yourself that you already know what you have to do. You're just like, usually I myself, I'm you know, I would be just dishonest with myself, you know, and thinking, but I don't know, maybe I should promote here and there and that. But you know, just finish an album, play shows, document it, show it to people, promote it, keep going, persistency, do it for 7 years more, and then you'll see. No, then someone is gonna recognize you. That's just how it is. You know, if you do that, and sometimes you.
Yeah. And that's his message, right? That's his message, is that he just says, be consistent. You know, not everybody's going to be a superstar.
No,
but you can be consistent at what you're doing, and not stop. You know, and for us, like for Paul and I, you know, age is of a factor for us. You know, because we're already in our 40s, and you know, we have a lot of, you know, we look at ourselves and go, well, how long are we going to keep doing this? You know, we're not in our 20s anymore. And, you know, he has kids, I have a daughter, and, you know, we have obviously significant others that we love spending time with. You know, we have to take all these things into factor, but yet we still have our personal goals for our music that we want to do. So in this modern age of technology, you know, is age really a factor? That's a question that we're asking.
Yeah, it is a question. It is a question.
Can we still do this? You know, and we represent the Generation X, and the people who maybe have given up on their dreams by now, or given up on music by now, and are, you know, working the job with the families and doing the family vacations. We represent that generation at this point in our lives. Right. So we have to look at ourselves and go, you know, are we crazy to think that we're still doing this when none of our friends are?
Or are you special again? If you
or are we like ahead of the game, or are we onto something that no one else is doing? You know, it's like such this big question mark that we have, and that's something that all people of our generation are probably asking themselves, no matter if you do music or whether you do acting or whatever, it doesn't matter.
It all comes down to whether you're happy or not. It sounds very cliche. I know that, but at the end, like if you're not happy doing that stuff, like I don't know, we talked about that a couple of times. If one of us is not happy doing what we do right now in 5 years or so, we're probably going to stop or do something else, whatever. So it's like you really it doesn't really matter. Just gotta be happy and willing to put in the work, like you said.
Yeah. I think that's definitely the main thing to remember for sure.
It's very hard to be honest with that.
It is. It's very hard.
Very hard.
That's the challenging part. Real.
No.
All right, but I think, any other things?
No, asshole.
I would just like to say that I think I would love to do this again with you guys, and I would love to interview you guys. That would be great. I think that we could really do that. I'd love to pick your guys' brain because it's literally like, I have a million questions for you guys, and maybe next time we can do that.
I think we should do another thing of those, and I mean maybe you can just join in
on your channel.
Yeah, or on your channel, an extra thing, or maybe we'll just invite you to another one as an additional guest. Usually we want to do this with like 2 guests because otherwise it's just us 3. We're always here, and we want to hear stuff from other people. That isn't interesting. By now people know what we're doing, and but it's hard to get multiple people on the same day from different countries on the same podcast.
Even that it's like very very cool that you managed to install Discord and show up and all that. For some
46
people,
and you managed.
For so many people, that's an issue already. It's so stupid. It's like, can we do something? And then they like message you back one time and then it doesn't happen.
But we don't want to bitch about others,
No, I want to. I'm all about it, man.
We can do that when the recording is off. We can call everyone fat.
But, I'd love to keep doing this with you guys, man, and same thing, and like we'll flip the switch on you guys, and interview you for sure.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Let's keep that in mind.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it wraps it up pretty good. I mean, we got a long podcast for this, but I think it was really interesting, even though it was just one person. But it's a good story.
It was
good
fun.
stuff. And
cool.
But one last question: do you know Authority Zero? Probably.
They're from here. They're from Phoenix. Authority Zero.
They're great. For example, like we saw them here. I know they're big. Where are you from? And we saw them here in Hamburg. It was a show with 40 people, 50.
Oh, nice.
$10, small club with a corner stage. Yeah, they go to Europe. They used to play small shit here as well. But we knew them because for some reason I had, talking about piracy and all that shit. I remember I had a folder on my computer from some LAN party. I don't remember. And, it was Authority Zero. Someone just had it on their drive. I just pulled all the music over to my computer, gave it a listen, checked them out, liked the music. And then all of a sudden, boom, I went to their shows in Germany, and they're from like Arizona.
Yeah, so, that's awesome.
Maybe that's just a small thing to take into consideration when being greedy with music. And I'm not saying give everything away for free, but random, very, very random. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm driving 2 hours to Hamburg to see them live for $10 in a small stage. I checked their US tour dates, and it's much bigger clubs, way bigger.
Yeah, they do really well touring in the States. They're a band that's they put in the work for it.
Yeah, they do.
They did get some support, some label support, but at the same time they do put the work in on and getting out there. And their lead singer Jason DeVore, he really puts that work in. He works hard at writing his music and getting the brand out.
Yeah, they put a lot out there, and I don't know, for some reason they're doing something right. So I don't know. Probably no one watches this of them, but it's great. So it's good music, awesome, good shit there, and. Everyone go to another continent, you start small again as well, So that was quite a few years back. But
have you been to Europe, like with a band or something?
You know what? I haven't, but that's funny because Paul and I are going to go to Sweden. We have a friend of ours that lives in Sweden. He's from Arizona. He moved there. And we're actually going out to Sweden in end of July to play a couple shows and be his rhythm section.
Cool.
And we're taking the cameras. We're going to take everything and do our thing. I mean, we're going to...
Do you know where yet?
We're playing in Motala, I think Motala, Sweden.
Yeah,
Smaller town.
Yeah. I heard
we're flying into what do you call I'm terrible at this. We're flying into the big city in Sweden.
Stockholm.
Stockholm. Yeah. Flying into Stockholm, and then
Alright.
we're staying there one night, and then we're driving to Motala, and we're playing like 2 shows. One show, a smaller show, and then a bigger festival type show.
Nice.
And so that'll be fun. And then, and that's something that I'm looking forward to filming and creating vlogs from. And then we're going to try and film the performance as well. Same thing we do here in town,
Yeah.
just bring the cameras with us. So that'll be fun for sure.
Well,
Alright.
we'll see what happens there.
Sounds good.
I mean, we can, chit chat a little bit after we're done here, but
Yeah.
I think we got like 1 hour 30 something.
Yes, sir.
But I
We're
don't want
good.
to cut. I don't usually want to cut anything out because I'm A, lazy, and B, it kills the vibe of the podcast. Kind of, we don't like to put stuff out, unless someone says Hitler all the time. As we're from Germany, that's the first joke we hear usually.
Yes.
So I'd say to the viewers, thank you very much for tuning in again. Definitely check out Rock Bottom Bros YouTube channel, and maybe you can there's definitely a lot of shit to look at, and I want to say, like, you put out so much shit. It definitely, it's well produced. I think
Thank you.
really deserves more views than it has, and it's still fresh. But like if you can get like 4 or 5 people out of this, why not? Surf over. Just hit subscribe. It's interesting, and you don't over exaggerate your content, and put out 1 hour and 30 minutes like we do. So you can just give it, watch it every day, and short, sometimes very short videos you can just have a look at. So surf over there. Don't forget to subscribe here, and let us know in the comments if you're a musician. We said it already. Don't forget, let us know you're out there, and let us know what you struggle with, and maybe come on the podcast. Let us know what's happening. I'll say good night. For now.
Good night.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys. This has been a great honor, and I
Definitely.
really, really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. And I'm a big fan of you guys. So
Thanks.
Thank you.
Whoa,
We
nice.
got one fan. No, we know there's some more, but not many. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. This has been a Noisebird Media and Etecc production. If you like our stuff, why don't you subscribe to our channel? That would make us very, very happy. Use the comment section to give us constructive feedback, which is always appreciated. If you liked the video, rate it thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then the dislike button is right over there. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you next time.